Hello, Crafty Nita here. I wanted to show you my pumpkin mouse house. I've been wanting to make one of these for some time. Been seeing a lot of Pinterest images and YouTubes about making little mouse house in a pumpkin, and I've been wanting to try that. I didn't want one of the large styrofoam ones. They're like, you know, really big, about like the size, maybe more like half scale. And I didn't want to have to carve out styrofoam. You know, paper mache was an option, but they were a little more squat. And I found this one. It's about 5.5 inches tall at Dollar Tree. It was actually more like a gold speckled clear plastic. It's about the thickness of a pop bottle. It was very easy to cut this open, and then I paper mache'd around the outside and inside. I just used Mod Podge though, and some packaging paper, and then I used napkin to wallpaper the inside that had pretty fall leaves. And Ollie's had scrapbook paper for 25 cents. I don't know if you have that shop in your area, but it had a double-sided paper that was really pretty. This one had sort of a pumpkin-y look on one side and then Christmas on the other. So I used it inside. I used double layer of cereal box for my floors. This one also has a felt on top. Let me see if I can get you in here. Anyway, I used Dollar Tree. See if I can get a good light in here for you. I actually added a little ball light, in the inside, just so we can see a little better. I got an acorn cap holding it up there, and I have Dollar Tree little plastic furniture that comes out those little doll houses, and painted those and added scrap fabrics. That right there is just a lid from, let me see if I can get in here a little closer, a lid from my E6000, one of the small tubes, and a little wooden round that I got at Hobby Lobby. They have packages of different sizes, and that one I use quite a bit in different miniature projects. Got acorn cap bowls, little chairs I already had, and this little mouse was part of a set of 3 from like what, the 80s, 90s. I used the other 2 in my Hickory Dickory Dock clock, and he was left over, so I made this little home just for him. So cute, just the right size, and got a bead back there with dried flowers. And then down here you can see my fire pit, because this pumpkin actually had a light that came in from the bottom, show you that, and stood up inside quite high and had a wire with lights, and I took all that out from the bottom and put in a tea light. Then I added sticks and stones to make a little fire pit. I had some scrap wood from other projects to make, this isn't focusing very well, but I made a little pantry shelf, acorn lid, acorn tops rather, to make a little bowl with a lid, beads for my little canisters. I painted the top of some brads and stuck them in some pony beads there. Down inside here we have another acorn cap with some floral pick seed thingies in it to make some food. Over here I have a little finger pin cushion that I made eons ago, and I just took the string off of it and stuck it in here. Thought it would make a little cute stool. And I believe this came from Hobby Lobby, little hay bales in their fall section. And again, the green plaid from one of hubby's shirts, I used that in a couple of places. And then I had this, I think it's a Hallmark knick-knack miniature. It wasn't an ornament, but it was just so cute. I fell asleep in the larder. A little cornucopia. And then I made a ladder, sticks from my yard. These were sticks, and some of the rocks were from Dollar Tree, but I had to go out in my yard to find small enough ones. Go out my driveway. And I added some little moss here. Anyway, it had a door on the front, but when I hinged it with some silk leaves, if I had it tight enough to close well, then I couldn't really open it. If I had it loose enough to open it well so that you could see inside, it wouldn't stay closed. And I didn't want to put another hole in it to make a clasp, so I just took it off, and I think it's just fine. I painted so many layers to get this color that I love. I'm not crazy about orange. I know that on my camera it's looking very orange, but it's not. It's more of a terracotta. I used a scrap leftover leaf from another project. I used the same packaging paper that I covered this with to cover the top of this peduncle. Is that what it's called? Funny word, always makes me laugh. And I had wires and just, you know, curled them up to make the tendrils. Anyway, I just think it turned out really cute. I'm going to see if I can tilt this really good so you can see down in there. Get some light in there. Well, maybe that's not going to help. Here we go. So I'm using my old camera instead of my phone. Just want to let you see it all. Anyway, thanks for coming. Visit again soon. God bless.